resolve this question, this intractable question of global warming, because at the end of the day, it boils down to our way of life in every country. And when it boils down to way of life, it's very hard to change. You can't tell millions of Chinese and Indians who are coming up, becoming more prosperous, middle class, that they can't use vehicles, they can't use, while the rest of the world continues. So I think we need to change our life, and awareness is important of a problem, the scale of problem, and the fact that we cannot solve this problem, either individually or with a group of countries through the Copenhagen or UNFCCC process. We can't solve these problems. So, but maybe with the awareness, the young people these days, they can connect each other, right? They may be able to come up with pressure on everybody else, on governments, on companies, to be socially responsible, and on themselves. And many of them, they are setting examples. They're cutting back on certain things and so on. They can enjoy luxuries like us, but they take a conscious decision where I can cut down on my emissions, I cut down. And if everybody starts doing that eventually, then maybe there's hope. I can't call that global governance. Maybe it's global self-governance, but perhaps that's something that can bring us some optimism going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those comments. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Well, I think I had better to introduce myself a little, so it's a brief. My name is Sano from Japan. I was the Vice Minister for International Affairs of the Ministry of Economy and Trade and Industry, in charge of the WTO multilateral trade negotiation. Oh, I see, okay. And also the bilateral trade negotiation, this with also the Singapore and Mexico, and it's also this is what is going on still, it's Korea and so on. Well, when we really engaged and celebrated to launching the Doha round, after 2 years, it is in Cancun, I really thought that the Doha is not going anywhere already at that time. And that's really driven us to go into the bilateral trade negotiation for FTAs and so on. Well, that means that I'm very much impressed by the expression of the Mr. Cleary. I have almost a similar impression that's about what is going on in the world right now. Even though there are many the global agenda, and there are many the advocates, I don't think that it's all the advocates is really succeeding in the formulating some kind of majority or some kind of the consensus amongst all the players in the world. That is the question. And so the reason is maybe, as the Cleary said, that is the complexity. It is beyond human beings' ability. Well, after this is graduating or after leaving this is the Ministry of Economy and Trade and Industry, recently I was the Chief Executive Assistant to the Prime Minister Hatoyama, and I failed, almost. The Hatoyama failed and is supposed to resign. But this kind of, a lack of governance, so-called, in the Japanese, the politics, I don't think that it's just only the Japanese phenomena. Look into the United States. As this professor, this Patrick said, it's whether that's a leadership so would be this United States or China, I have no idea. But at least if you are looking into the United States, well, where is the leadership? And I don't think the leadership means, the definition of leadership itself is a really tricky word. Strong leadership means that you have to go beyond without creating any kind of the majority or consensus. Why the elected person can do so? So in that sense, there is no leadership in the world right now. About the G20 issue, the same thing. That there is no consensus amongst, well, maybe in a nation level, maybe there are some kind of the consensus, or they are forced to, or they have to behave to say that there is a consensus. But going back to domestic politics, the people or human being, public, how they can really understand some issue raised by as the global agenda or the domestic agenda or some kind of fiscal issue or whatever it is, or tax, is so complex now, or not complex. Maybe that is not your business. So many times they do not really say delegate to the representative in the Congress, in the Parliament, or it's even though you are taking the parliamentary system or presidential system, whatever it is, okay, you are not delegating and say that this is a democracy. You are going to vote all kinds of individual issues. And at that time, without having the really good knowledge or understanding of that kind of issue or agenda, even though that's global, how can you really get some kind of the delegation from the public? That is an issue, I think. And clearly, so you said as well, well, I can share almost all this your pessimism, but I really want to seek some kind of the good solution in the future. In 5 years, well, politicians or economists or even the business leaders, I think they are going to struggle to get what kind of the way to this is break through this kind of situation. And for the time being, I think that's really beyond our ability. And it seems to me it's in 1991, as Merkel said, that is a year of the Maastricht. We thought we had this very rosy decades after the collapse of the Berlin Wall. And it's all kind of the new globalization, really supported by the internet or information and communication technologies and so on. But it seems to me, internet itself is not really crystallizing or that kind of the consensus or consensual, the concept amongst us. Internet itself is really helping us to more diversified in one way. And so the internet itself is not creating, at least at this moment, they are not creating any kind of the citizens or the mind of the citizenship. They are creating more consumer or consumer-oriented concept itself. And well, my question is it's all three of the panelists, that's how are you going to really give some kind of good, bright future in the coming 5 to 10 years? That's my question, and it's also really the concern. I really share the concern as you expressed in your expose. Thank you. And I think you are the Marlet. No, it's a Thierry Marlet. Yes. And you wrote both the course, some kind of book, and I think you can make some kind of contribution too. Thank you.